uh, proliferation, politics of today's identity, and migration in the digital age. To guide us through today's proceedings, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed session chair, Dr. Snehashish Sur. Dr. Snehashish Sur is a senior journalist, media academic, and former additional Director General of Doordarshan. He is a professor of practice at St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, and serves as a guest faculty member at several universities and media institutions. An empaneled trainer of the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, he has conducted international training programs and taught at Kyoto University, Japan. He holds a PhD in journalism and diplomas in public relation and media laws. Dr. Sur has authored books, presented research papers, received prestigious journalism awards, and covered major national and international events throughout his distinguished career. Now, it is my privilege to invite Arindam Sir, Assistant Professor, Mass Communication and Journalism Department, Sister Nivedita University, to felicitate our esteemed session chair, Dr. Snehashish Sur.
There's another piece of information that needs to be given out. He was my professor at Faculty University.
We extend our sincere gratitude to our chair for kindly agreeing to moderate this session. With us, we have Shushmita Sengupta ma'am, Assistant Professor at Sister Nivedita University, Mass Communication and Journalism Department as our supervisors. And before we begin the session, I have some presentation guidelines. Each presenter will be allotted 7 minutes for their presentation. A warning bell will be rung at the 6-minute mark to indicate 1 minute remains. At the end of the allotted time, the bell will ring twice, signaling that the presentation time has concluded. After the presentation, we will have 1 minute for taking questions. At the end of all the presentation, we will open the podium for our esteemed session chair's observation and remarks on the presentations delivered during the session. And I would kindly hand over the session to Sir, and we can begin our presentations.
Hello and good morning to one and all. At the outset, we all are grateful to Sister Nivedita University for giving us this opportunity of hosting this Kolkata hub of International Communication Association, which is having its annual conference. But definitely this has given us opportunity to come here, to share our thoughts, to learn from each other, and to know that what kind of research is going on through our co-researchers. What I have decided that we have come here to listen to you. It's not that I would speak much. Yes, the time is from 10 to 11:30. We have 7 papers. So we'll try to use I personally feel that many of you I see have come from a long way. So I'll take the permission from the authorities that we will, if required, so we'll slightly go beyond slightly, because we want to hear. It's not that you come all the way and then only 5 minutes you come and take the certificate. It's basically we want to enrich ourselves. I have nothing much to speak, and I don't think I'm competent enough to review your sessions, but you know, as a person, I'll also have every reason to share my thoughts with you. I'm grateful that many of you have taken it seriously to come here all the way to prepare the papers which have been cleared, the abstracts have been cleared, so that's why you have crossed one benchmark. So I appreciate your seriousness in your academic activities and to your research endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, there are three issues. One is cultural proliferation. Second is politics of identity. Third is migration. And all these three will have to be seen in a digital ecospace. That is the mandate which have been given to us. And everybody will look into it in a slightly different manner. Basically, it is the digital connectivity where culture, ideas and identities move cross-border. See, one thing of digital is that it is cross-border. There is no border, beyond borders. There is no geographical limit. So the question of identity, question of migration, excuse me, bhai, for our benefit and to keep him free, we'll have the group photographs together right now. Is anybody left to come? Any participants? They will come to her. দেরি হচ্ছে তাহলে আপনি একটু পরে আসবেন তাহলে একবার ঠিক আছে নাহলে ডেকে নেব আর না হলে আমাদের আরমান আছে ও ব্যবস্থা করে দেবে ঠিক আছে ওকে সরি See, we always think of the logistics. So what I was just referring to, it's a digital connectivity which has made things cross-border, where the culture, ideas, identity move beyond borders. So this is a new era once we go for, otherwise in the print you are confined to a geographical region. Even television, you are cross-border for international televisions, but not much. But here it is obvious that you are cross-border. Digital spaces have become important where identity, representation of migration are negotiable, contested and reimagined. The entire thing, the content we produced, it's contested and at the end we are bound to reimagine because there is no boundary of culture. How digital technologies influence cultural practices, shape our identity politics, and affect the experience of migration. That means, what are the impact of digitization on these parameters of, the cultural prolifications, identity politics, and migration? Primarily, all these will be looked into in the various papers. I'm very glad that I have gone through the titles and the abstracts, and I have every reason to believe that this is of high quality. And I would welcome you, and I would again on record put my appreciation for taking your academic endeavor seriously, coming all the way, taking the ICA Kolkata hub seriously. For your participation, the standard is enriched, the standard is heightened, and the entire conference is enriched. With this, may I request Rosie ma'am? Yes, ma'am is a research scholar of Central University of Punjab, and we are very happy that his co-author, Professor Kingshuk Pathak, has also come here. He is also quite known to the Kolkata media fraternity, not only Kolkata, but national media fraternity. He is very polite and his humility is to be seen, but he is already has become senior. He belongs to Benares, and he is a second generation media professor of national and international repute. Kingshuk sir, you will present or me or both of you? No, why 2 minutes? You have come all the way. It will be our pleasure that senior persons like you have come here to present. Please, both of you can come here and speak one after the other. And these 2 minutes will not be counted from her presentation. This is a bonus for the seniority. Kingshuk sir.
Respected Chair, dear colleagues and students, the topic which we have chosen for today's presentation is Ajit's AI Edge Navigating Linguistic Blind Spot and Epistemic Labor in Vernacular Journalism. Actually, this presentation talks about how AI is slowly entering Punjabi's news room, but its use is still limited and unseen. Most AI tools work much better in English rather than Punjabi. AI translation often misses the real meaning, tone, and cultural context of Punjabi. Journalists cannot publish AI-generated content directly in Punjabi. They have to rewrite, edit, and verify it before publication. As you all know this thing, that an innovative idea has been propounded by the Washington Post in 2013. They have developed a kind of truth teller app just to analyze the sayings of politicians in America. Now, yesterday we were talking about the digital divide. Now you can easily understand that after 2013, in our language newspaper, vernacular newspaper, we are not able to adopt such kind of new technology. There is a disparity. So this is all about now my research scholar will
Before
elaborate.
that, Kingshuk sir, I would be happy if you kindly introduce in 30 seconds the Ajit newspaper, because many of us may not be knowing the history and the legacy of the newspaper Ajit.
Ajit.
Ajit is a newspaper, it's not the name of any person, please.
Ajit is a renowned newspaper of Punjab, and it has been started by the freedom fighters, and afterwards in Punjabi, Lala Hardayal used to write articles in that very prominent newspaper. Several politicians, several well-known people try to write article, and that very particular newspaper is very prominent and eminent in that very particular area. People used to read Ajit. If you want to learn Punjabi, you have to go through that very particular newspaper, and the seriousness of the editorial page is up to the mark. At the time when we talk about to learn Hindi, sir knows that at the time of Baburao Vishnu Paradkar, we suggest to read Dainik Aaj, because the language of that very newspaper, especially in Hindi, was up to the mark. So thank you, sir. Thank you for listening.
And this one, first one.
Respected Chair and everyone present here, good morning one and all. I'm here to present my topic is Ajit at AI's Edge, Navigating Linguistic Blind Spot and Epistemic Labor in Vernacular Journalism. So before, why I took Ajit as my study, because I'm a doctoral candidate from Central University of Punjab. I have taken Hindi and English journalism newspapers as my doctoral study. So in my pilot for Hindi, I found that there were certain limitations of AI in Hindi. So I wanted to see the extent to which AI tools were not working in any vernacular or Indian languages. So I took this study. So my base of this study is the Reuters digital reports from 2024 to 2026, this year's. So they were talking about the AI literacy, the lack of AI literacy, lack of AI strategies, and the pressure of business models. They have to the vernacular or Indian newspapers have to have this new business model, because in newspaper, it is not just the published newspaper, it is going on the multi-platform approaches. It is print-first newspapers, working with print plus digital technologies. So how the newspapers are changing with these new silos that has been made with the technicalities and with the digital wings inside it. So this is all about the platform mediation, the business model pressure is there, AI integration, AI strategy should be there to survive in the new media. So for the Punjabi media context, India's landscape is characterized by extraordinary linguistic diversity. Regional language journalism is this central to the everyday public life. We read the new language newspaper, which are very, very true to ourselves. The language we speak, our mother tongue is quite important to us. So that's why we read the language newspaper. It is not about the Indian newscape is not justified just with the English newspapers. So the Punjabi newspaper have historically functioned as key institution within the region's public sphere, documenting social change, sustaining the Punjabi language as living medium of communication, preserving regional perspective. So here I saw the linguistic diversity is the important character in India. Regional centrality should be there. Because the Indian language newspapers are millions on the local concerns beyond the information dissemination. It is beyond the global thing. We need something localized, which is global plus localized. We need those information which are quite true to the proximity should be there, the timeliness should be there. So in the current mediascape, the global news hemisphere has taken up the major breaking news kind of their first page. Page one news are mostly on the global perspective rather than on Indian or the region we belong. They don't give the preference to those. And the algorithmic gatekeeping is one of the reasons why they can't do it. And language is not just the language, it is also the culture we belong to. So my problem statement is the study explores how AI adoption in vernacular newsrooms produces tension between technological standardization, linguistical and culturally specified epistemic traditions. Epistemic traditions are to know, meaning-making traditions. So it interrogates whether AI journalism contributes to linguistic flattening. Linguistic flattening is a word came from UNESCO's. There is standardization of language in the modern newspapers. So the vernacular languages are taking kind of a marginalized space in the already marginalized space. Because the global news Western perspective is first, then our perspective, which is in English, comes second, and the vernacular, our language, culture, and the news that belong to the local person get very much marginalized. So the research objectives are to analyze AI integration across various workflows to understand negotiations of labor by journalists in the AI-augmented workflows, to explore the impact of AI adoption on vernacular journalism in the print-first vernacular news organizations. So 3 lenses I'm looking this through is the political economy of communication, then data colonization, then algorithmic gatekeeping. Political economy of communication is basically the whole communication systems are mostly Anglo-centric or westernized, so there is a certain kind of inequality with respect to the vernacular, the language mediums, the regional language mediums. Data colonialism is because the data sets, the AI models, LLMs, CNN, and computational neural networks cannot even read the Shirorekha or Matras. So they cannot translate, they cannot, they just give us structured, scattered data rather than the complete script. Algorithmic gatekeeping along with the human gatekeeping, there is algorithmic gatekeeping also. My research design is, it is a case study. I took 18 qualitative interviews, but I saw that people don't want to discuss about AI. First of all, they think that AI is ChatGPT or Gemini, so there is certain kind of hindrance in themselves, and also they want to, they always say that you should talk to our seniors, they know better. So there are two kind of, one is the hesitation or the opacity that the news organization don't want to disclose what AI tools they are using. Second is that maybe they don't know it, and the AI literacy or AI strategy is just into some kind of senior silos. There are certain senior people who only knows what is AI tools and how they should work, so they remain ignorant with respect to AI strategy. I got the 5 themes from the vernacular newsroom. Uneven AI, that is the same thing. Not everyone knows there about AI, and AI cannot do everything because it's the vernacular newsrooms, and mostly the things you have to relate to your readers, that readers can be come from the most backward to backward person. Everyone should relate to what is written in the news. So AI is ambiguous. It is present, not transformative, as stated by Reuters or UNESCO's report. It is not that much transformative, and the vernacular AI literacy is mostly in silos and scattered across news hierarchies. And hybridity of digital and legacy print is present, but there is certain silos that digital wing doesn't communicate with the published, and published wing think that they are the most democratic part of the newsroom. Linguistic blind spots that I found, that machine scripts and translation, which are said to be the foremost reason why the vernacular newsroom should take up this AI tools or algorithms, but the scripts doesn't preserve contextual meaning, cultural references, or region-specific expressions in Punjabi or in any language. The epistemic labor is then because the machine script is not that well written, so if it is going to the digital platforms, so they put a disclaimer there that this is machine translated or this is AI translated, so they do it. But in published, they cannot do it, so they have to take up that translated, the wire news or the English news or the global news from where they are getting. So they have to translate it, and they have to preserve the culture. They have to preserve the language, the tateness of the language. So that epistemic labor is increasing, the meaning-making labor is increasing within the journalism, by the journalists. Jugaad as negotiation, so they have to do certain jugaad. They have to deploy certain adaptive, resourceful strategies to compensate for the technological shortcoming. That was the blind spot, because AI tools cannot read the vernacular languages, Indian languages, they cannot read it. So algorithmic hierarchies are there because the unequal language infrastructure is there. Data sets, the AI tools are trained on Western English language data sets. So English language journalism benefit from greater technological investment, training data, and the platform optimization. So my finding reveals that AI is supplementary, not transformative. Respondents consistently described
Thank you.
AI as the preliminary tool. The structural imbalance.
Thank you.
I'm done.
While I appreciate the paper, let me have the privilege of introducing two doyens of media education whom have recently arrived, one from the east and one from the northeast, those studied in Hyderabad. Professor Minal Chatterjee, the former head of Indian Institute of, Regional Director of Indian Institute of Mass Communication, and Professor Joya Chakraborty, former head and presently the professor of journalism and mass communication in Assam University, Tejpur, who has done her PhD in University of Hyderabad. So thank you very much, sir and ma'am, that you have come. It is really an encouragement, and this is Professor Kingshuk Pathak, who is also a co-author here. And thank you that we all are encouraged. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your paper. You see,
I just wanted to conclude with this last line. The AI surveys regional media effectively.
that will be done by AI. You have done it, the AI will do the rest. Don't worry.
Localized approach, the Bhasini AI kind of things is required.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Actually, you see, as I have seen this paper as the use of AI in language journalism. Ma'am, I have just one point. I don't know, sir and ma'am will agree. Generally, the vernacular word we generally do not use now. We use language press because vernacular, the Britishers used to Vernacular Press Act and all these, but we prefer using language journalism. So it's a choice. I mean, this is the preference. And it's basically the difference between use of AI in English newspapers and the use of AI in language newspapers. And as they have explained, that Ajit is a very old, traditional, renowned newspaper. Another newspaper he has mentioned is Aaj, like Aaj from Kashi or Venerable Kashi. We say Benaras, they say Kashi. So Kashi or Benaras, Aaj is almost the last word, was a renowned newspaper in Hindi. Similarly, Ajit is one of the renowned newspapers for its existence and involvement of the freedom fighters and all. So it's a unique thing to find out that how AI is being used and how the workforce is transformed to use in AI. And 2 points what I liked was, you see, the translation work, you cannot leave it to AI totally. Every language, and if you have to keep the standard of the language of a particular newspaper, it has earned the standard, the benchmark over a period of time. And you cannot leave, it can help you do the first draft, but the second draft or the final draft has to be done physically by somebody. And how the transformation of journalists have taken place, whether they are comfortable or what they are exactly doing or what they are not, that is it. I have only one thing to mention. I don't know if it is only for this, this paper is only for this conference, or it is for something else, or for other purpose also. Okay, then only 18th, you see, we are coming from the profession, so we know how to basically work less and go to the academics. This 18th in-depth interview is to some extent, I think ma'am and sir will not prefer much. 18 number is not good for an in-depth interview. So it's better if you could increase at least 25 to 40. You take time and add up and then you can change it. I know that there is your. Thank you very much to see AI and its use in language newspapers, and especially how the language journalists are transforming themselves and what they are using by AI. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. So next I have the privilege to call Nisha ma'am, who is a research scholar of Central University of Haryana, and the topic of her paper is Realification of the Soap Opera, Theorizing Indian Microdrama as a Hybrid Narrative Form. I repeat the topic. Realification of the soap opera. Theorizing Indian microdrama as a hybrid narrative form. Ma'am.
Just for 30 seconds, I want to show you something. I share a practice.
We would like to request you always take the microphone because it is being recorded and streamed live. So when you go back home and you will just download your portion, the audio should be good. You can all download. I was watching last night what I actually spoke in my session. So please be careful in audio. And you know, in all television, which includes soap opera also, audio is neglected. So I will make you speak on microphone, which actually sounds good.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Nisha here, research scholar from Central University of Haryana. And I just want to show you something before I start my presentation.
लाइसेंस सस्पेंशन भी पॉसिबल। इंपेरियल रॉयल को पिछले 2 साल में हुआ 1000 करोड़ का लॉस और वो अब है बंद होने की कगार पर।
So, my paper title is Realification of Soap Opera, Theorizing Microdrama as a Hybrid Narrative Form. So, the paper I am presenting today emerges from a very ordinary observation that millions of Indians now are watching serialized short dramas on their phones in 3 minutes episodes on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, or some dedicated OTT apps. So on these shows built around the same narratives which we are seeing on soap operas, but they are compressed in a vertical screen, each episode ending with a cliffhanger placed not by a writer but by an algorithm. So this paper asks what exactly is this thing and why does it matter we name it. So, sorry. Okay. So India has had a very long and deeply embedded relationship with the serial drama. The revival of Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi by Balaji Telefilms decades after its original run into a media landscape that has fundamentally changed or shifted is itself evidence of how persistent this cultural form is. So, and here I'm sorry. India has a deeply rooted relationship with serial dramas, but shifting habits such as scrolling through Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts are quietly reshaping the traditional soap opera format. So positioned between long-form television melodrama and the bite-sized logic of social media reels, a new digital phenomenon known as microdrama has emerged. Microdramas are short-form, serialized narrative drama content designed specifically to be consumed in a vertical, mobile, native format. Some key characteristics, if we discuss of microdrama, then format and structure. So this genre is characterized by vertical cinematography, mobile-first distribution, and an ultra-short episodic structure lasting between 1 to 3 minutes only. Microdramas rely heavily on extreme melodrama, intensified emotional hooks, and aggressive cliffhangers to instantly capture attention. And instead of relying on a traditional broadcast schedule, microdramas depend on platform-first algorithm for serialized dissemination and consumption. And this format is already a massive billion-dollar industry in China. There, these microdramas are mostly known as duanzu in their language and is rapidly gaining major momentum across Indian digital spaces. And even in India, recently Meta has organized a microdrama summit in India with Ormax Media. And also there is report by FICCI and EY organization on microdrama, Indian microdrama story. And that support that Indian microdrama sector is emerging. And it is one of the emerging industries in entertainment. So my research objectives here are to trace the genealogy of Indian microdrama across 3 parent forms, soap opera, web series, and reels, to propose and define realification as a conceptual tool for media studies, to identify the distinctive formal narrative and cultural features of Indian microdrama, to position Indian microdrama within global microdrama debates, to set out a research agenda for this new field. Okay. So For this, I have, this paper brings 4 bodies of theory into conversation. First is soap opera studies. So I have discussed Geragati, Mankekar and Vasudevan for soap opera studies. So Geragati defines soap opera as a fictional television form that consists of serialized interconnected plot lines which center on the lives of a knowable community. So it is characterized by openness, seriality and melodramatic excess. While Mankekar shows that Indian TV serials were never merely entertainment, they were instruments through which ideals of femininity, nationhood and the Hindu family were constructed and through which women viewers actively negotiated their subjectivities, and Vasudevan theorizes the melodramatic public. Next is remediation and genre theory, and I have studied Bolter and Gruisen established that new media remediates old media through 2 gestures, immediacy and hypermediacy. And Jason Mittal argues in genre and television that genres are not textual properties but cultural practices. These categories assigned by industries, labeled by critiques, and sought out by audiences. And Rick Altman's semantic, syntactic, pragmatic framework gives us the tool to analyze that how exactly microdrama uses this same approach as the soap opera, but organizes them into a radically different syntax and serves a different pragmatic function. And then platform capitalism by Nick Schrenek, I have taken that into consideration because microdrama is mostly about algorithms and platforms like Instagram, like social media, digital platforms. And then post-colonial hybridity from Homi Bhabha. So the concept of third space in the location of culture is the paper's key theoretical anchor for understanding what microdrama actually is. So I have taken conceptual and theoretical research design as my methodology. So following Jacola building theory through systematic conceptual analysis rather than empirical data generation, the theory is the research, then analytical generalization following in using specific cases as evidence for theory, not as descriptive data of a population, cross-disciplinary synthesis and platform observation. So I have observed some microdrama content on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and some dedicated platforms like Kuku TV and Story TV. So I have three to four findings. First, genealogy, 3 parent forms. So I have discussed that microdrama, what it takes from the soap opera. Soap opera can be termed as the heart because it is taken its emotional DNA from soap opera, including family-centric melodramas, archetypal characters. But what it declines, that is the slow narrative, the slowiness, because in soap opera, first अगर हिंदी में कहें तो एक भूमिका बांधते हैं, but microdrama does not give us that chance. And from OTT web series acts as a bridge because it established the habits of personal mobile first viewing and binge watching behavior. And then comes the social media reel, which is the body of microdrama. Basically it imposes the physical constraints, 9:16 vertical framing, 3 seconds hooks, and then distribution. The concept of realification, I just give the definition. So realification is basically how microdrama is basically soap operas compressed in the logics of reels. So this is a process by which format, rapid pacing, and structural laws of short-form social media interfaces colonize and re-engineer traditional long-form television. So again, the structure, it takes slow-burning television elements, but not the slow pace. And then it has re-engineered the mechanics. Hybrid third space and spectator shift is there. It moves media consumption away from a scheduled collective family living room ritual to an isolated high-frequency handheld mobile viewing practice. For example, because anybody can watch microdrama on their phones in their personal space with earphones plugged in. And then Indian microdrama is hybrid narrative form. So basically third space of hybridity, grounded Homi Bhabha's theory, it is not a basic mix of 2 formats, but an entirely new cultural artifact born from a process of transformation and translation. So it fuses traditional soap opera semantics with short-form social media syntax. Storytelling traditions are completely subordinate to the demands of platform capitalism. Slow-burning emotional build-ups are replaced by constant conflict loop designed to game platform retention metrics, shifts the audience experience from a collective family viewing into an isolated haptic high-frequency act on invisible mobile screen, and then traditional passive TV viewing is replaced by an immediate feedback loop where audiences drive the story through scroll stoppers, comment interactions, and microtransactions. And the research agenda, if I talk about, because in Indian academic scenario, I didn't find much work on microdrama yet because this is a very new form. And I'm just 6 months old in PhD, and this is, I'm working for my PhD proposal on this sector only. So my research agenda, which I think we can study further, are audience ethnography, because from what I have observed on platforms that, like with soap operas, we used to connect. Those stories are etched in our memory. We can talk about, like, whoever watched Kyonki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, Kasauti Zindagi Ki, we can still talk about those characters. But microdrama, you watch it for entertainment and forget it. This is my personal observation. But yes, we can do audience ethnography. We can take others' views also, what they are thinking about this form, because it is viral. And creator studies, obviously, we can focus on producers like Kuku TV, Story TV, Instagram, to understand how they reconcile creative intuition with the brutal metric disciplines, then formal analysis at scale, regional, and Sir has said that vernacular is not a very good word to use, so I think local or language microdramas, and platform policy and regulation, so investigate the policy side of realification. So these are, this is something which I have studied so far on Indian microdrama, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nisha ma'am, for introducing this short form of audiovisual format. It's quite new that you have identified this microdrama and you have decided to study this format, this genre especially, that how does it work. Yes, the characteristics of vertic, because we all know that the television screen is disappearing. What is television is this, and most of the time it's not like this, it's this. We all, it's a personal consumption. So that is why, and I see this paper as, transformation of content according to format, or according to platform, or according to medium.
Yes.
See, according to the medium, the content gets transformed to new one. And as far as SAS is concerned, short attention span, that we know after COVID, that our entire media consumption has changed. And long form audiovisual soap operas and reels, which continue to be weeks after weeks, and at a given particular time, people used to assemble to watch that so-called prime time. All these factors are going away. Yes. It's available when you watch, and you don't watch, it comes to you. Its algorithm brings you. The decision is not the consumer. It is the algorithm. It is the platform decides that what you should and what you have been watching. So immediately, even if you talk about this, next morning you will see a lot of ads on this will come. Yes, so this is the AI, and with the invention of AI, with the short attention span, the viewing habit becoming changed. So this is a new genre which has come. Have you seen it in FICCI ENY report that there is a special, this is the entire media and entertainment report which comes, or this is a separate report?
No, I think in the same
the main report.
It is in the microdrama Indian story, something like this. I have that report if you want.
No, it's there in the net. I also have it, but generally I did not go into that detail.
Yes, it's there.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And the study or research what you have done, you said that it's qualitative, so you did not want to make it exactly the enumerative and all. Yes. So you said that it is popular in China. Have you started? Have you tried to find out how popular it is in Korea? Because Korea's audiovisual is also.
Sir. Actually, because of time constraints, I haven't discussed the global context. Yes, it is in Korea also. Even the China microdramas were so popular in USA that the Hollywood Reporter has done a story that how this is a danger to Hollywood now. So because
They dub the language or it's in Chinese language they watch?
dubbed language,
Dubbed, obviously.
Even in India, it started with the dubbed Chinese microdramas
See,
during COVID.
to me it is, content is changing according to the
Yes, sir.
medium and our viewing habits.
Yeah, completely
Thank you.
agree, sir,
Only one thing I just could not understand that you have brought in Homi Bhabha's theory that we will discuss later on. Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, it's quite interesting and it should
For
be
me
your
also,
PhD
this
work.
is-
Yeah, I don't
this is
know.
like my first time.
May I
and I'm
request
also
Professor
learning
Chatterjee
these
or
things.
Professor... Yes, Shobik sir. Yeah, please speak in microphone because you will repent later on.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
I can hear
Yeah.
what I have said. You will
So
not be able to
even
hear.
I stumbled on microdrama like this only, sir. I was working with India Today before after my masters, I have worked for 7-8 years, and then I have enrolled in PhD since 6 months. So I was supposed to do a story on something related to entertainment, and as I have a thing for soap operas and fictional storytelling, so I just stumbled upon these reels on Instagram or YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels. So, and then I got to know about this
Thank you.
particular
I
thing.
appreciate your effort.
Yeah,
Sir,
thank
may I
you.
request Professor Chatterjee and Professor Chakraborty to kindly comment on this?
This is one of the finest papers that I chanced upon in this.
Thank you so much, sir. This means a lot because I know that I have to study a lot yet, but
Thank you, Nisha. And I guess this, I agree with Snehashish Babu, this is PhD material. You can do a PhD. To my knowledge, not much has been done in this aspect academically,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
at least in India. Though the concept of microdrama is there in India for a very long time. Consider the jokes, consider
Yes.
banters. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
also it's a form of microdrama.
True.
But the way you described microdrama is funnelized approach of, big, complete television series to web to microdrama in few minutes. It's a wonderful kind of looking at this.
Thank you so much, sir.
Best wishes to you.
Thank you so
Consider
much.
this for your PhD.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, sir, please.
Okay. Yeah, I would also congratulate you because this is a new phenomena. So hence, evidently, there is very little work. And it would be very interesting also to see, just like you have indicated, that how it's happening across different languages. Now,
Yes.
probably there are primarily certain languages, but then how we are adapting this format to the different language
Yes,
cultures
yes.
and storytelling cultures that we have.
In language also it's there. I'm not very sure, but I think Bengali microdramas are also being produced now. So I'm not very sure about it, but somewhere I have studied.
When you will be doing kind of a PhD work on this, also consider the same thing is happening in the world of fiction. Gone are the days when we have 300, 400 pages novels.
Yes,
From
yes.
novels to stories to micro stories to flash fiction.
Yes.
The same thing is happening in
Yes,
the world
sir.
of fiction also.
Just to add on this, I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir. The leading newspaper, Dainik Bhaskar, they have started Bhaskar serials on famous cases. For example, on Operation Sindoor, they have launched some episodes in the same format because this format is getting viral. So they are the pioneers, maybe not the pioneers, but yes, they have started something called Bhaskar serials, the same format. Different episodes, 2 to 3 minutes episode. Obviously AI generated series, but yes, it is there. So they have also started this.
Lots of avenues for research. Yeah.
I just want to add for drama is that it first started with the Chinese, from the Chinese. It was in the Chinese language with the subtitles in English. So
Yes.
after the evaluation, it went to different parts of the country, and when it started, it was more than more than 80 episode for each drama, the span, and it was around 1 minute. And when it came in social media, the microdrama, the most important part for example, from if it is was 90 episodes, for 41 to 50 episode they showed in the social media, and
Yes.
that become very popular. And for the reason it become very popular, the person or the audience started to subscribe those channels and paid for those. After that, when it came to India, it reduced, the number of episode reduced to around 45 to 50.
True.
And it is so popular. It's not only Kuku TV. There are other platforms
many platforms.
also. Yes, they have a very important, to attract the audience, they have introduced that if you pay 1 rupees, they will give subscription free for 2 days. And there is constant updation of microdrama in all the websites. So you can add this point in your PhD when
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for adding on, and I'm really aware of this also, because people still don't know that these are microdrama. These are known as microdramas. For them, it is like Instagram wala serial, a short serial. So vocabulary is yet to define. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your suggestions.
Thank you, Shovik, for this observation, but it's a microdrama that she could not include everything. So it's, after all, the format is microdrama. Well, I have now the privilege of inviting Ms. Ratan Naga Deepika, who is a research scholar of University of Hyderabad. Communication infrastructure as anchors in community building and the production of space, an ethnographic study of working class Oriya migrant community in Katindan IDA, Hyderabad. So, ma'am, you have one person who has been based in Denkarnal and Bhubaneswar, and another alumna from your own alma mater. So, you take it as an advantage or disadvantage?
Of course, advantage.
Thank you. Please carry on.
Yeah. So, good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us. So, I take you from the media rooms and the drawing rooms to the field now, where actually the communities are communicating. So, little louder? Okay. So now I'll be taking you to the ground, to the field where certain communities are doing communication, and why they are doing is something what I'm going to explore. So yeah, this is the title of my paper. So I am going to present a part of my doctoral research, and the title is like I'm looking at the communication infrastructures of a working class Odia migrant community and the production of space. So I'm connecting these three things here. Yes, it's a migrant, Odia migrant community. Yes, yes. Staying in Hyderabad. Yeah, I'll give you the context also. So rapid urbanization and labor migration have significantly transformed urban spaces in India. Migrant workers moving to cities often experience precarity in relation to employment, housing, social security, and access to basic resources. Within these conditions, migrants in urban areas build communities around shared identities, migration histories, and cultural symbols. This paper focuses on one such community of working-class Odia migrants living in Katedan industrial area in Hyderabad. The discussion here is based on the analysis of two kinds of everyday spaces of the community. One, the religious spaces such as temples, and two, secular spaces such as tea stalls and kirana shops. The spatial turn in migration studies shifted attention towards the politics of mobility, belonging, the idea of home, migrant neighborhoods, and the lived experiences of migrants. Similarly, the spatial turn in media and communication studies foregrounded the spatial dimensions of media practices, communication technologies, and networks in shaping everyday social life. However, the interaction between spatiality, migration, and everyday communication largely remains underexplored. So this paper addresses this gap. So what is my central argument? My core argument is that under conditions of urban precarity, working class migrants build communities through communication infrastructures. This paper conceptualizes, yes. Sorry?
Climb up. Take a chair and climb up. Take a chair and climb up. Hold the chair. See, when the switch was off, it will show power supply. Action day. Centralized, man. Sorry, ma'am, for the interruption.
Is the communication habit. I would say the communication habits, yes. Co- No. How they communicate, why they communicate, and what kind of infrastructures they have built to communicate, and actually why do they communicate? Interesting question. Yes, within themselves as well as with the external environment. So, yes, yes. It's communicative practices. No, sorry. No, it's about communicative practices of this migrant community. So how they do is like building these communication infrastructures. Okay, yeah. So what is my central argument? My core argument is that under conditions of urban precarity, working class migrants build communities through communication infrastructures. This paper conceptualizes temples and commercial establishments as two such infrastructures that function as socio-spatial anchors. They serve a dual role. First, facilitate community formation, and second, contribute in the production of space. So here are my objectives. Again, the objectives are the same, like, how these community building is mediated through communication infrastructures, and how these communication infrastructures help these communities shape, negotiate, and produce space in urban cities. And my research questions obviously flows from the research objectives. It is looking at these commercial establishments and temples, and what role do they play in community formation, and what role do they play in the production of spaces is the broad research questions. So here comes the theoretical framework. My paper is based on two major theoretical frameworks. First one is the idea of Henry Lefebvre. The space is socially produced through everyday practices, negotiations, art, rituals, and social interactions. And second one is Sandra Ball-Rokich and colleagues' communication infrastructure theory, which explains how storytelling networks and communication action contexts help communities build belonging and collective identity. I use this framework to analyze temples and commercial establishments as communication infrastructures. So methodology, I have employed a qualitative ethnographic approach rooted in self-reflexivity. Fieldwork was conducted between 2017 and 2025 in Katedan Industrial Development Area, a dense MSME hub on the outskirts of Hyderabad that relies heavily on migrant labor. The study focuses on the working-class Odia migrant community, many of whom have migrated through kinship and referral networks from districts such as Balasore, Bhadrak, and Ganjam in Odisha. Data was collected through participant observation, 15 semi-structured interviews, and informal conversations conducted across temples, tea stalls, kirana shops, community meals, Rath Yatra celebrations, and various cultural performances. So here this is pictorial representation, that is the map, and these are the temples, those two are the temples, and these are the community meals, the Rath Yatra for the folk cultural performances and all. So what are my key findings? The first key finding is that temples in Katedan function as communication infrastructures rather than merely religious spaces. How they do this? They operate as communication nodes, hotspots, and comfort zones where people gather, interact, exchange information, and sustain a sense of collective belonging. Second, the study shows that these temples are socially produced spaces. The emergence of both the Jagannath and Gundicha temples involved negotiations over land, engagement with local political actors, collective mobilization, and community labor. This demonstrates that migrant communities actively participate in shaping and producing urban space. Third, community rituals such as Rath Yatra, Annadan, folk performances, and monthly community meals strengthen storytelling networks and reinforce a shared Odia identity. These events create opportunities for interaction, narrative circulation, and collective meaning making. Taken together, these findings suggest that temples are not simply places of worship, but important socio-spatial infrastructures through which community is formed, maintained, and reproduced in the city. So what is my second finding? The second major finding concerns commercial establishments such as tea stalls and kirana shops. My study finds that these spaces also function as communication infrastructures, but they are more open and shared compared to temples. They are not merely sites of economic exchange, but important spaces where migrants interact, exchange information, seek advice, and access social support. They too function as communication nodes, hotspots, and comfort zones. A second finding is that shop owners also emerge as important communication nodes within the community. Through their businesses, they connect migrants to jobs, housing, healthcare services, credit arrangements, and wider social networks. Their role extends beyond that of business owners to that of trusted community intermediaries. Finally, the findings show that everyday interactions in these spaces contribute to community formation. Through routine encounters, conversations, and mutual assistance, tea stalls and kirana shops help sustain trust, reciprocity, and a sense of belonging among migrants, making them important socio-spatial infrastructures within migrant life. So what is my conclusion? Yes, my findings are the conclusion of this paper. Taken together, the findings show that temples and commercial establishments function as communication infrastructures. These spaces act as socio-spatial anchors. By bringing communication infrastructure theory into conversation with Leffe's production of space, the study demonstrates that communication is not merely a process of information exchange, but also a spatial practice. Migrant communities do not simply inhabit urban space. Through everyday communicative practices, they actively negotiate, shape, and produce it. The study therefore highlights the importance of recognizing everyday socio-spatial and communicative infrastructures in understanding how migrant communities navigate precarity and build collective life in the city.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
ma'am. It's very interesting to find out that how the migrants use their communication practices and they continue with their legacies and traditions and heritage and culture. This is exactly what you wanted to mean. It's very interesting that, as you have shown, that the temple and market, these two have acted as an infrastructure for communication, the platform we can say for communication. That's fine. And I was just remembering of public sphere theory of Habermas that, it creates a public sphere, though for a migrant population or something. Yes. What I could not follow totally, it's my problem, is that community formation. I mean, that we will discuss much later.
Yes, yes.
Identity, I understood that they continue to have the identity.
Yes.
But the community formation there's already a community, but the same community remains, or they form a community or something or the other.
Yes.
This I need a further discussion for
Explanation,
which
yes.
our time does not permit,
Yes,
but
yes.
it's a very unique kind of a research you have taken up, very unique. We are very happy to see, that lot of new areas of research are being dug and are being, structured as a proper social science research.
Yes.
Saran, ma'am?
Want to just share, this was coming to my mind, because you are talking about spaces.
Yes.
Spaces, just like technologies, are not value neutral. They have structures of inclusion and exclusion.
Yes.
So are you also thinking of talking about, and because specifically you have taken temples and commercial infrastructure, uh, caste and gender-based inclusions and exclusions. So that would
Yes.
add very interesting dimensions as to how people network and communicate
Yes.
under these situations of inclusions and exclusions, which
Yes,
might be
yes.
very much connected to the space itself,
The
not
space
just to the
itself.
people, but to the space itself, given the type of space that you
Yes,
have
yes,
selected.
Yes, yes. Actually, to address both the comments is, actually this is just a very small section of my doctoral research. So what you have been talking about, like, are they communicating internally or externally? This is actually the part of community formation itself. Like, if they are building community, I am arguing that community building itself is a communicative practice. Like, if they are making a community, why are they making a community? So externally, they have something to communicate. Internally, they have something to communicate. So that is what one of my arguments is for the broader doctoral research. And coming to your thing, ma'am, yes, I understand that there are various interactions and access of differences, not just age and gender. In terms of age, in terms of caste, in terms of class, of course, there are various differences in that. And I actually theorize that it is not just production of space, but it is productions of spaces. Because considering all these axes of differences, I can't say that community itself as a single homogeneous entity is doing this. There are, of course, micro things going on. So this is, of course, part of the larger research project.
I was looking at this from a completely different angle. Like, if community can make spaces, can spaces make community? In concrete terms, can somebody build structures where the community will be encouraged to come and form kind of a group?
Yes, yes.
Can it be done?
Yes, yes. Actually, it's an interesting thing, sir. Like what I am doing here in Katedan is, these community people, they are like early settlers in Katedan area. So few Odia people have come and they started this Jai Jagannath Odia Society. And then they have started this Rath Yatra and they deal with the local political leaders very neatly, very they don't go with one political party, they negotiate with various political parties. So what they have done is, they have built these structures already. Like, they have this temple, which was one early one, the Rath Yatra itself, and these cultural performances. So I think these are the spaces where the new migrant, Odia migrant coming, will also be attracted to these spaces. So as you have been questioning whether space also can lead to community formation, I think this is what it is happening is, like, first they form community and in turn that again keeps on building. It's like the cycle which is happening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now call upon Mr. Mrinal Rai. Yes, Mrinal. Whose topic is social media, the Nepali music industry and cross-border affective spaces, migration and identity discourses. Mr. Mrinal Rai, a research scholar of NBU or University of North Bengal. Yes, Mrinal. As we all know, the Nepali music is very rich. And yes, it travels cross-border.
No, this is not the one.
It's PDF. It's in PDF. You can scroll down.
I have submitted a new one.
When you submitted today?
Yes, just now.
What happened? What happened?
Actually, I had submitted the updated PowerPoint presentation.
You have an updated one.
You have any pen drive?
You have it in pen drive.
Get your laptop.
You have it in pen drive. Laptop. Bring that laptop and tie it up quickly. You have this connectivity? You have this connectivity? Then you have one thing, you do it. Either you present in the old one and or from your laptop you add on which you have added, number one, that's the best. Or you have to mail it, they have to download it and bring it here. So you go on through from your old one, and wherever you have changed, you narrate the change from your own laptop. Don't worry. But this is something, the thumb rule that we all should come and before and find out whether our PowerPoint is being played, the right one is being downloaded and played.
Yes, sir.
Carry on, Mrinal. It's in PDF, no?
Yes, sir. So good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience just now. I am Rinal Rai, and I'm from the University of North Bengal, and I'm a PhD research scholar at the Department of Mass
Your
Communication.
guide is here also?
Yes, sir.
Your
No, sir.
guide is, no, he hasn't come. Who is your guide?
Dr. Barun. Dr. Barun. So today I'll be, the paper that I'll be presenting is about the social media, the Nepali music industry in India and Nepal, and the cross-border affective spaces of these songs. So I'll be talking about the aspects of identity and migration. So to bring everything into context, just like other cultures, Nepali culture also have the tradition of, collectively coming and going for their, folk dance or folk art forms. They collectively perform it. So through this, they somehow create a sphere where they can share their, stories, share their feelings or something like that. So these kind of events now has transformed into digitalized version of that space. So what has happened is before, the biggest problem was the geography, the distance between the speakers. Now it has been totally eradicated because of the coming of the new media. So the place where these events to take place has now been replaced by YouTube channels. The headphones, the instruments that they used has been replaced by things like headphones, etc. So based on this, I have come up with a research objective. The main objective of my research is to understand how these songs use social media to express their belongingness, how they preserve their cultural roots, and how they build a shared pan identity across the border of Nepal and India. So based on this objective, I have based two major questions. So one is, how do migration-themed Nepali songs engage with political history of Nepali-speaking communities? Because as we know, the history of Nepal and India is very contested. So they have at various epochs, gone through various, treaties or deeds like that. So the identity of the people living in either of the countries is also very dicey. So the first question tries to answer that, and second one tries to understand how do these constructed cross-border and pan-Nepali identity claims among the listeners and viewers. So how do the audience actually perceive these kind of songs, and how do they react to these kind of songs? So the hypothesis is, my main argument is that Nepali music industry is no longer just about culture or entertainment. Because of the rise of sub-nationalist movements in the Darjeeling Hills, these songs have come beyond the culture and entertainment. Now it has become a shared space where Nepali-speaking people from Nepal and India connect emotionally, express their identity, and discuss who they are as a community. So the method that I have used is a mixture of qualitative and quantitative analysis. And for the sampling, I have done a theoretical sampling because this is an exploratory study. So I have taken it as a case study of a selected number of songs, which are based on migration and identity. The theoretical underpinnings that I've used is Baba Kharisi's effective publics, where I have talked about how the identity crisis in Darjeeling has made these songs popular in Darjeeling, and how do Nepali people create a cultural space that simultaneously validates both their Indianness and their Nepaliness without requiring a resolution of the contradiction. So this is not even, so the second theoretical underpinning that I've used is critical discourse analysis of Van Dyck, because the elite history that we read about Nepal and India is very different from the history that is portrayed in these songs. So the elite history is about the kings and the Britishers, how they signed the treaties and all, but these songs actually talk about the problems of the layman, how they had to migrate because of the power shift and all. So this is my code book and analysis of one song called Munglan by Bipul Chetri. And these are my findings based on my research questions. So the first finding that I have found is that these songs connect personal emotions with larger political and historical experiences. And the second one is they build a shared sense of belonging through common experiences of migration, memory, and language and cultural struggle. These two findings are quite similar because the people living in either of the countries have come from the same race, same cultural background, and they speak the same language. So many of their rituals, day-to-day habits are very similar to each other. Yet they live in two different countries. So this virtual space, and then it has given them this opportunity of being together and discussing these things. So these are my tentative findings since this is an ongoing study. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mrinal. If I'm allowed to ask you a personal question, which school and college are you from?
I'm from Dr. Graham's Homes, Kalimpong, and I am from St. Joseph's College, Darjeeling.
I guessed something like that. It's a Graham's and North Point combination. Good. It's a nice study that, in this part of Bengal also we share a lot of commonality in our music, in our culture. And it's not a music per se. I liked when you said that it's not merely a music, it's an identity which is being felt along with music in two geographically different places, but the actual space is the same. And how folk is being transmitted after it is digitized. Everything is digitized and everywhere it is possible. Earlier, it had to move physically. Excellent. Sir and ma'am, and then any question? Anybody? Any supplement? I liked it. Sir?
One question is that of authenticity. Like, does the authenticity get retained when you come to digital spaces? Because when it's folk tradition, it talks about the actual identity, the lived experiences of people, and folk traditions keep on evolving. And that's now getting digitized.
Yes. Now, when I look back, now to answer your question, ma'am, now if you look at this particular code book, it has talked about the, very personal aspect of these people who have migrated. For example, afno desh chhadera means that leaving one's own country, and other things like. So this is. So basically,
Yours is a content analysis or it's also a audience analysis?
it's a mixture of content analysis and critical discourse analysis, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So you are not going to the audience?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay, thank you, Mrinal. Now I have the privilege to request Rinisha. Yes, Ms. Rinisha P., a postgraduate student of Central University of Tamil Nadu. Yeah, please. Oh, there is another person, one is PG student and then another is a research scholar from the same university, Harita Harilal. Oh, and the topic is medicalization, overprescription and test syndrome, consumerist impressions in the popular online discourse on maternity. It's from culture, we come to our health. I repeat, medicalization, overprescription and test syndrome, consumerist impressions in the popular online discourse on maternity.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rinisha Riaz, along with my co-author, Ms. Harita Harilal. We are presenting our study title, Medicalization, Overprescription and Test Syndrome, Consumerist Impressions in the Popular Online Discourse on Maternity. This research was conducted under the guidance of Dr. Francis Philip Barclay, Department of Media and Communication, School of Communication at the Central University of Tamil Nadu. So today we will discuss how popular online maternity discourse promote consumerist culture, consumerist values and shapes expectations of pregnancy and motherhood. To begin with, contemporary maternity discourse has increasingly become consumer oriented. First, there is a strong emphasis on purchasing products ranging from baby monitors and pregnancy apps to maternity clothing and accessories. The second one is motherhood is often presented as a shopping-oriented or shopping-centered experience where the consumption become a significant part of maternal identity. The third one is digital content frequently promote reproductive technology and medical interventions contributing to the medicalization of childbirth. Finally, excessive supplement use, testing and overdiagnosis have become common feature of online maternity discourse. This study examines whether maternity discourse promote materialism and consumerism, while existing research covers intensive mothering, medicalization and consumer culture. The discursive tactics used in maternity discourse remain underexplored. Although previous studies have explored intensive mothering, medicalization and consumer culture, this specific discursive strategies through which maternity discourse encourage consumerism remain underexplored. Therefore, our study attempts to fill this gap. So these are our research objectives: to examine whether the popular media discourse surrounding maternity has consumerist impressions, to identify the dimensions of consumerism in the popular media discourse surrounding maternity and operationalize maternal consumerism, to discuss how this discourse could shape the expectation of contemporary parents and the experience of motherhood. The last one is to discuss the implication of those discourses, especially for those in the developing countries. Now, I would like to hand over to my co-author, Harita, to discuss the theoretical framework and methodology.
Thank you, Rinisha. So, this study is grounded in critical discourse analysis, and it uses consumer culture theory as its conceptual core. That is, this study focuses on three concepts: identity projects, caring conception, and socio-historic patterning. First one is pregnancy is treated as a commercialized process where mothers use marketplace resources like products, apps, and brands to construct their ideal mother persona. Next one is caring conception. Maternal love is linked with spending practices, suggesting that good motherhood is demonstrated through conception. The third one is socio-historic patterning. Digital media reproduces cultural expectations of intensive motherhood and reinforces them through commercial messages. So, coming to the methodology, we use a AI-augmented content analysis This method combines machine learning and natural language processing with human oversight to analyze large volumes of text. AI was used to support manual coding and access coding reliability through a coding prompt designed to measure 7 dimensions of consumerism. A purposive sample of 202 articles was selected from the popular maternity and parenting website What to Expect. Now I will hand back to Rinisha for findings.
Our findings reveal a strong presence of consumerist discourse. Medicalization was found in 96.1% of articles. Among these, 72.8% showed moderate presence and 23.3% showed high presence, systematically framing pregnancy as a risk-oriented medical conditioning requiring constant clinical supervision. Conspicuous consumption was also highly prevalent. It appeared in 87.5% of articles, while Momanmi marketing showed high presence in 45% of articles. This discourse directly connected or linking with good motherhood with purchasing power and consumption.
Another important finding was the pressure of intensive motherhood. The platforms moved beyond simply providing information and instead promoted an idealized version of pregnancy that was having a consumption driver. Additionally, statistical modeling indicated that medicalization functions as the primary structural driver. When pregnancy is framed as medically risky, it becomes easier to normalize additional tests, products, services, and expenditures.
So, to conclude, our study identified strong consumerist impression within popular online maternity discourse. These discourse encourage mothers to spend more and pursue idealized forms of motherhood.
The result is a culture of fear, excessive product use, and increasing financial burden on families. This is especially concerning in developing countries where such expectations can intensify socio-economic pressures. Therefore, maternity should be understood not merely as a consumer experience, but as a social and health experience that requires balance and responsible communication. Thank you.
Thank you. I thank both of you. And as I was just telling you that we are getting different kinds of papers, which is a diversity from something to something, and we will be moving towards media regulations in the next paper. Yes, you see, it's a unique effort to show how pregnancy or motherhood is taken in a consumerist structure, and where a consumer is forced to resort to conspicuous consumption.
Yes.
That is something, from the consumer's protection side, this paper adds a lot of value that you have enumerated the percentage that how the entire activity, which is is a normal activity of a human being, and that is utilized by the consumerist and multinationals and those in the medical industry and the medicine industry, and how you are forced to this conspicuous consumption.
Yes.
This side of commercial side of pregnancy.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Ma'am,
sir.
would you like to comment anything?
I'm interested to know, how did this thing strike you? How could you think about this topic? And who thought about this?
Actually, it was our, together.
Did Francis suggest to you, or you thought about this?
Actually, we discussed and we came up with, and the initial idea was from our guide, like that Francis. And together we developed, and we also, our cousins were using the abroad, they were staying in abroad, so they were into all these medicalization practices, like the consumption of these kind of websites.
Especially this website and this, earlier side, they introduced a book. Like earlier, they introduced a book, What to Expect While You Are Expecting, by Heidi Markov. So from that period to this period, they changed that book into a website. So like every day, they are posting something regarding the pregnancy and motherhood. Like this is must have for pregnancy, this is must have for your prenatal period and everything. And also I would like to mention, we done a qualitative phase also as part of our, this is part of my PG dissertation. First paper is qualitative, 32 articles were identified through reflexive thematic analysis. After we thought, okay, like we have to look on more, like quantify more things. So we took 202 articles to like overall.
Thank
No, but you can understand, sir, everywhere, a lot of ads, lot of things are commercial, like baby food and food supplements, and they did not go
And
to
many
the
people are
garments.
using-
There are specialized shops for the garments for the newborn. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I would like to call upon Ms. Shea Shandillo from Jamia Millia Islamia. Which school, ma'am? AJK or the other theoretical school? Center for Culture, Media and... the topic is Regulatory Knowledge as Epistemic Power, TRICE Consultation Paper 2004 to 2024. How many papers you have consulted?
So technically I've looked over around 25 papers, but currently I'm not covering all of it. I'm just
Thank
looking
you.
only on
Because
the
you see the
infrastructure part.
span is 04 to 24. Every year TRI is coming out with some papers for public comment and all these. So it's a media conglomeration and all. So please carry on.
For this paper I'm only catering to infrastructure.
Carry on.
Am I audible? Yeah, okay. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Shreya Shandilya, and as sir said, I'm a postgraduate student at Jamia Millia Islamia. So, what I want to do in the next few minutes is ask a very simple question, that whose knowledge actually counts when India's telecom regulators make any decisions. So, we tend to think of regulatory documents as very technical and a neutral document, but I want to argue that TRI's consultation paper are much more interesting than that. They are sites where knowledge is made. If TRI decides to cite one source and not another, it is making a choice. It is saying the voice matters and one does not. So the question of who gets cited is really a question of who gets to shape policy. So, TRI stands for Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and it was established in the year 1997. And since it has become one of the most powerful institutions shaping telecommunication and broadcasting in India, decisions around spectrum, infrastructure, tariffs, data governance all flow through it. Now its consultation papers are supposed to be open and participatory, but when you actually look at the sources inside these documents, who they cite, whose data they use, whose reports they rely on, are a very different picture. These papers are not neutral. They construct a particular version of reality, and this paper is about understanding how they do it. So the problem statement is, so across 20 years of all the consultation papers that I have looked, there is a clear and consistent patterns. Some actors dominate the citation, whereas academic researchers or civil societies are like literally, we can count in hands. So the deeper question is, when you can only draw knowledge from certain sources, you also tend to end up defining problems in a certain way and making only certain solutions look possible. There is currently no systematic study that maps this across TRI's infrastructure papers over 2 decades, and that's the gap this paper is addressing. So my study has 4 objectives: mapping the citation sources, identifying framing strategies, and tracing how it changes over the last 2 decades. And so I'm also looking at a temporal change between the telecom and broadcasting sectors. the theoretical framework, my analysis draws on 3 theoretical anchors. First is Enman's concept of framing. The idea that selects and makes certain aspect of reality salient itself is a political act, and in policy documents, framing determines what the problem even is. Second, I'm drawing from Dodge and Mace, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, who shows how legal, economic, technical, and social perspective interact in policy. And the third is Nelkin, who argues that knowledge in public policy is never neutral. It is always mobilized to justify authority. And together, these help us to read the citations as a deliberate framing decisions. So my methodology, total number of citations that I covered was 900, but for this presentation, I'm only going for 230, which is catering to infrastructure-related papers, both from broadcasting and telecom. So, just a second. So this covers major bodies such as government bodies, academic, civil society, media platforms, tech platforms, and everything. So I'm covering these bodies. So my first finding is, the first and one of the strongest framing strategies, what I call framing through state and legal authority. Government bodies and other regulatory bodies account for 40% of all the citations that TRAI uses. The Telegraph Act of 1885, the Wireless Telegraph Act of 1993 appears repeatedly in its citation forms, and which questions. Sorry, I'm really sorry. These appear repeatedly anchoring regulatory questions inside a legal framework that presents decisions as matters of compliance and continuity rather than a choice. So there are two choices. So there are two concrete examples. The 2023 paper on infrastructure and spectrum leans heavily on Department of Telecommunication and USOF subsidies to frame rural tower expansion, whereas the 2019 paper on IP licensing uses government registration data to justify revising the scope of licensing. So in both cases, if we draw from Entman's understanding of framing, the state defines the problem, and TRAI reinforces that definition. My second finding is international authorities. So TRAI increasingly cites the International Telecommunication Union, FCC, GSMA to present its proposal as aligned with global best practices. So it accounts for almost 15% of the total citations. If we draw from the theory of cross-perspectival borrowing, they point out its danger. When you use global benchmark as your standard, you are implicitly importing a model built for very different context. My third framing is market legitimacy, and industry association and consultancy such as NASCOM, EY, Markets and Markets together account for around 18% of the total citation in recent year, which has developed from around earlier, when you look at the earlier decades, it was around 10%, and now it has moved to around 16%. In 2021, there was an economic paper in TRAI's website, and at the end you can see that there is a marginalization of civil society. So across all the 230 citations, you'll only find civil society at number 9, as in 9 citations are there all across it. My last finding is the temporal evolution across broadcasting and telecommunication. So phase 1, so I divided it into 3 phases. One was from 2004 till 2010, which was during the earlier establishment of TRAI in both broadcasting and telecom. From 2011 to 2017, where digital governance happened and internet came. 2018 to 2024 was the coming of OTT. So these are the 3 phases I'm looking the temporal shift. In phase 1, there is a very high significant amount of state authority in it, whereas in the phase 2 brings a more international references in the digital convergence. And in the third part, it's more, I'll just wrap up in 30 seconds if that's not a problem. And in the third phase, it's more of a technocratic, where technical standards, market data are started to being cited more. But overall, if you look, state is still remaining in the majority part, but there is a change in number, like international organizations are cited more, and markets are cited more. So to bring all this together, TRI's consultation papers are not a passive reflection of the regulatory landscape. They actively construct it. By deciding whose knowledge counts, TRI shapes what problems are visible, what solutions are thinkable, and whose interests are protected. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya, for taking up a completely different kind of a regulatory factor. And, you were referring to bias towards government sources and as your citation found. But this is one sector where the industry is not very strong. There is not that many chambers of commerce and the lobbies that they would immediately, as soon as it's open, you all, I believe you know that what she was referring to is the consultation paper. The two areas are there. One is telecom, another is broadcasting. So broadcasting, suppose they want to bring in a legislation or a regime. So they would float a paper saying that this is happening and what is the comment from the public. Public is supposed to send back the give their feedbacks. But, if it is a hardcore like telecommunication industry or in the transport industry or car manufacturing, it's for the other sectors. The industry is so organized that they come up with lot of suggestions. But, here in the broadcasting sector and non-technical side, the industry is not very united to come up with lot of papers. And I believe that you must have found a difference between the papers on their consultation papers on telecom side with their broadcasting side. There's a huge difference. And if you go through the study that how much they change after getting the consultation is almost nothing. And sometimes they extend the dates of their receiving of their feedbacks of consultation, even they don't get it. But it's very interesting. But yes, there are highly state's presence because state wants to formulate a rule just like the DAS has come, the digital addressable system, it has come, and several others. But I don't know whether you have gone through this concentration of ownership consultation paper in the broadcasting sector. Yeah. No. I mean, there are many, as I said. You only took 230. When you started saying the TRI papers, I thought 2004 to 2024, I think lunch, afternoon tea and the cultural program, everything will happen. But it's nice that you have, you are from the theoretical school where you analyze media. I should not say media theories, but, the impact of media rather than, the hands-on, which Arman is doing right at the moment. So it's nice to see that you have found out TRI papers, and at least TRI should be happy that their papers are being discussed in the seminars. Sir and ma'am, you'd like to have anything to say? Yeah, new study on the TRI. You should get in touch with TRI. They should policy studies and good. No, they don't change it. I mean, and she will be able to, as she was mentioning, that it's loaded, it's a lobby kind of a thing that and it's the equipment, whenever the equipment is concerned, there is yes, it's good. We all enjoyed that the diversity of the studies being presented in this, at least in this session also. Thank you, Shreya. Thank you, thanks for your effort. Is Vishwajit sir still going there or no, she has retired? How is he? He's fine. So last but not the least, I'm happy to request Mr. Shobhik Shur, a research scholar and an assistant professor of this university, Sister Nivedita University. His topic is video editing as a tool for portraying inequality, cut, fade, silence.
can highlight different social groups through their pacing, through their continuity, through their visual impact. This can be done by combining images, sound, transition. Editor can draw attention to particular videos, and it can draw attention to wealth opportunities and living condition, making social issue more impactful and understandable for the audience. So my statement of research is that there is insufficient attention to how cuts, fades, and silence construct social inequalities visually and emotionally. This means we should not give, there is no attention how the fades, when to give the fades, when to have a cuts, or when there should be silence in the video. Second is the existing of scholarship focus. There is no much research done except on the field of character representation. There are lots of research on the character representation, narrative analytics, then cinematography, but there are very few on the field of video editing. Third is the unexplored aspect of editing. Existing research has paid comparatively less attention to the editing as meaning making practice as a political tool and effective mechanism. My research objective is to examine how the editing technique portrays the inequality, analyze emotional effects of cuts, fades, and silence. On this, I will bring out one very important point, is that this fades, when in the news we say that we should never use a black fade, and except when there is a very sad story or very negative story, only we use a black of it. So so this fades has a very important in a very random, on all the random video we give a fade to white, fade to blacks, but they should be used, when to use it or when not to use it, when the sound will dip, everything should be there. Investigate how editing shape the audience perception. If I give fast beat music, means something fast is happening, and if I go with the slow beat music, means very dramatic, something is coming up. This concept has to be there. Number 4 is understanding how editing as a political and aesthetic practice. Editing is not putting the video one after the other, but giving it as an aesthetically way. There should be a proper meaning to it. From my research objective, I want to bring out 4 of the research question is how do editing technique shape representation of social inequalities? How do cuts, fades, and silence affect audience interpretation? In what ways does editing normalize or challenges inequalities? And what ideological meaning emerges through editing patterns? My theoretical framework is based on the film theory, that is film theory of Sergei Einstein, in which he has told about the montage. Montage is a full complete video or part of the video where everything is being showed, but not totally the video is given or shown, but a particular concept is given. From the semiotic, that I want to say the arrangement of the shot, transition, and visual sequence guide the viewer's interpretation and contribute to the construction of cultural and ideological meaning. And the last is the affective theory. Affect theory. Affect theory says that emphasize the capacity of editing to produce emotional and sensory response through rhythm, pacing, continuity, and disruption. Pacing, rhythm, continuity is very important in video editing. Without the pace, if it is not, without the pacing, continuity, and rhythm is there in complete video, then it would be a very monotonous or not so engaging for the viewers to see. My methodology is totally qualitative. I have tried to give some of 4 case studies, but there are many other case studies is there. Analytical focus on short duration, editing rhythm, silence, transition, continuity and discontinuity, and selection criteria. is social inequality theme, critical recognition, and distinctive editing style. From the case study, I want to say the film like Parasite, the theme is classic inequality. There are editing style, there is abrupt cuts. In Jai Bhim, the theme is caste oppression. There is editing style is emotional discontinuity. So there are lots of film. I try to portray only 4 because the time was short for my presentation. And from the key finding and the conclusion is that the editing technique is significantly shape representation of inequalities. Cut, fades, and silence influence emotional and ideological interpretation. And the editing as a practice, communicative language, a political tool, a ethical practice. This means there should be total the techniques there are lots of techniques, but the cut, fade, and the silence should be used in the video in such a way that it should engage the viewers, it should be emotionally connected, and it should give an interpretation of what the video wants to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Shovik, indeed. And from my personal side, that the person who has worked and survived through all this cut, fade, and dissolve, that we, especially in the news, when we ask them cut it, then we don't realize that why I am cutting and what frame I am contemplating.
Definitely.
The next frame. So we have to do it in a hurry. And now in a purely academic situation, when we come back and do a postmortem kind of a thing, that each transition, like cut, fade, and dissolve, has a meaning. That why a particular transition is being used by the director in consultation with the video editor. There must be a meaning that 2 shots are joined, and on the joining, why a particular treatment is being made. So this is something very good that you have tried to, find out an analysis. I was thinking that I had gone my training days in FTI Pune, when frame by frame film appreciation used to be done. Yes. That why a particular shot by shot is joining by dissolve, and why it is cut. So this images and transitions, it depicts some meanings and it adds perceptions. So it's nice that such a working area is being theorized and discussed. Anybody wants to say anything? And sir and ma'am and
Yes, I think ma'am has some question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have a very basic question. Like,
Yeah.
why did you choose those 4 films?
Those 3 names.
4 films.
Acha, there are lots of films are there. For my presentation, I have selected only 4. Okay, so there is a certain period I have given in 2019, 18, 16, 20. I have tried to take it till 2022 from 2017. So, but the list goes on. There are thousands of films from Hollywood to Bollywood, everything is there. But it was 8 minutes, I have to wrap up my presentation. So I have tried to cope up with Hindi films and English films. Nothing more than that.
Did you find any differences or similarity across contexts?
Difference regarding context, my study is totally related to the video editing. Context, yes, there are certain differences there. Regarding, I have tried to portray only the video editing parts of with cuts and cuts, fades, and silence, which is a part of video editing. Regarding that, I have said that about for example, Parasite, there is abrupt cuts from one shot to another shot. It goes, why does it go? Every shot going from the first shot to next shot, there should be a definite meaning to it. I can't give a shot, if there is a wide shot, the next shot I can't give it a wide shot. Yes, there can be abrupt of 2 wide shots, but there has to be a meaning to it. The director or editor has to give a proper explanation why I'm using this shot. For establishment, we always use a wide kind of shot. But yes, we definitely go against the book. Now in current situation, we definitely go against the book. For example, 180-degree shot. A person is sometimes shown from left side to right side, next shot right side to left side. But yes, that is not the correct way. We can go, but there should be a jerk. So I have tried to portray that part of video editing. Okay.
You are again tempting me to comment on Kurosawa, who is known
Yeah.
for breaking the
You the,
imaginary
yes,
lines.
definitely.
Thank you very much. In this connection, I was tempted again to just share one news that Ritik Ghatok's all the films have been restored in 4K. So I think we will be able to see them in good clarity. Those films were dumped for a long time. When we started watching it, they were not in good condition. But we watched almost all. But we are very happy that the Government of India, FTII, and the National Film Archives and the Restoration Project, they have taken up a huge project in the centenary. And all these memorable films will be able to see with good clarity. So please look forward to watching them in Ritik Ghatok's. I mean, since we were discussing on film and the news has come up only yesterday, so I thought that I would share. So, ladies and gentlemen, all good things should come to an end, and I particularly wanted to have the discussion just after the paper, because otherwise you don't remember, and you then it's just not possible to do justice to the paper presenters. And I think you have got enough time to present, and we were joined by two experts. So now it's don't buy one, get one, buy one, get two free. So it's all consumerist culture, and the buy one, the free ones are always better than, you value the free ones, which are much better than for which you have paid. So on my own behalf and on behalf of the SNU and ICA Kolkata Hub, I would like to thank Professor Minal Chatterjee, Professor Joya Chakraborty, and all the presenters, and Professor Kingshuk Pathak, and all the presenters that you have come from across the country, and that shows the seriousness and for which the conference is done. It's not that networking and fine dining. It is knowing that who all are working, and I have no hesitation in saying that I have been exposed to new ideas of research and new areas of thought process. I'm enriched. I believe you have also, you have been enriched also. Thank you very much. After the concluding remark, we all will assemble for a group photograph.
All the scholars and whoever is present, you can watch your video in ica.snuniv.ac.in. You can share the videos with your friends, family members, and others. You, yes.
Thank you to all our paper presenters for their insightful and thought-provoking contributions. We have now come to the end of the paper presentation for this session. Thank you, Dr. Snehashish Sur, sir, for your insightful comments and for expertly moderating this session. With this, we come to the end of technical session 2. We hope the exchanges during this session inspire further research, collaboration, and dialogue. Thank you once again for your participation. We wish you an enriching experience for the remainder of the ICA Regional Hub Conference 2026. Before we conclude and disperse, I would like to request all our presenters and our esteemed session chair to kindly join in for a group photograph. Meenal sir and ma'am, we would also like you to join for the photograph.